Hello guys, welcome to Piece of Code. So we are going to continue our journey on our OCA preparation crash course. So let's get on to it. So today we are going to go to a new topic. Basically, let's see the agenda. So we're going to see package declaration and imports, what are wildcards, what are redundant imports, how to create a new package, and we're going to see some exam pointers in this. All right. So what are packages in Java, right? So basically Java comes with thousands of built-in classes, all right? And there are countless more from developers like you and me, right? A lot of developers are there releasing new classes and everything for, new libraries every day. All right. So with all those classes, right, Java needs a way to organize them. Yeah, because organization is absolutely necessary. So it handles this in a way similar to a file cabinet or a folder. Now let me give you a real world example, right? So in your computer you keep different stuff in different folders, right? You keep a separate folder for music, you keep a separate folder for games, you keep a separate folder for your coding programs, movies and everything. So basically similar type of classes in Java are kept in different packages. For example, utility classes are kept in one package. Some kind of framework classes are kept in a different package. So these are logical groupings for classes, right? So that it can be organized in a tidy manner. Now, we wouldn't put you in front of a file cabinet and tell you to find a specific paper, right? Instead, we tell you which folder to look in. Java works the same way. It needs you to tell which package to look to find some code or to find some package or some class. Now let's take an example for this particular scenario. Let me create a new class over here. So I'm just going to create a new class, and let me name this class as import example. I need the public static void main, so if you click on this thing, it will automatically generate it for you. Cool stuff, a lot of magic happening. Now let me write some code to generate a random number between 0 and 9, and we need a built-in class to do that. That is known as the random class. It already comes with your JDK, so you don't have to do anything. So first of all, you need to create an object of that class, and then you can use its method. Don't worry about objects and everything. We're going to discuss it in later in detail, but for now we have to create an object of the random class, and then we have to use it to get a random number between 0 and 9. So let's try that. So it's simple. So I just have to do random r equals to new random. All right. Then basically this is the first step, and then we can use a method known as next int in this particular class to actually generate the random number. But before going to that, we can see that there is some error over here. There's some compilation error. So basically it doesn't compile. What is the reason? Sorry, compile. Now basically the Java compiler helpfully gives you an error that looks like this over here, right? It says that random cannot be resolved to a type. So basically this error could mean you made a typo in the name of the class. You double check and discover that you didn't, right? The other cause of this error is omitting a needed import statement. Now import statements, right? And you use the keyword import in that, all right? Import statements tell Java which packages to look in for classes. Now since you didn't tell Java where to look for random, it has no clue. So basically this random class is present in the java.util package. So basically you need to import this class in your particular program, so that Java will understand, okay, you are trying to use this class from a particular package. So let's do that. Import java.util.random, right? Now if you see, now there is no error right now. So basically this import statement, right, this import, okay, tells us where to find random. Now we can easily use any kind of method of this random class to help us, right, for our dot next int. So this will give us, so I'm just going to pass in 10. So it means that we are going to print a number between 0 and 9. Now if I try to run the code, you can instead you can go for like this method, like I told you, run as Java application, or you can use a shortcut known as control plus F11 and it will automatically run your code. Alright, control plus F11. Alright, now that I run the code, you can see every time I run this code, I'm getting a random number out of it, right, between 0 and 9. So now it is working fine. Java, so basically as I've told you, right, Java classes are grouped into packages. The import statement tells the compiler which package to look in to find a class. So this is similar if you take a real world example, like, right, how a particular mailing system works. For example, you want to send something to a different person in a different city or somewhere. So you use the post service or the mailing service, right? So let us understand by taking a very simple example. So for example, your friend lives somewhere and basically you need to send a particular parcel to that person. Basically, for example, let's take a random address. Your friend lives at 123 Main Street, for example, Main Street, and then let's say the apartment number, apartment number 9, for example. Now the postman, right, first brings the letter to where? 123 Main Street. All right. Then that guy looks for the mailbox for apartment number 9 or for the house apartment number 9. Now, so basically you can just say that this particular address, right, is like the package name in Java. The apartment is like the class name. So we can just write it like 123 Main Street dot apartment 9. So this is the package name and this is the class name. So just as the postman only looks at the apartment numbers in the building, Java only looks for the class names in the package. Simple as that. Now, second point that I want to point out is that package names are hierarchical like the mail as well, like you just saw over here. Like whatever address you take, there is some hierarchical format that is being followed everywhere. So the postal service starts with the top level, right? Looking at your country. So first your address will go like country first. That is the top level. So basically similarly you start reading a package name at the beginning, right? Like this. So your package name starts like Java, then .util. Like your postal system starts like country, then .state, then district or something like that. So basically if your package name begins with Java or JavaX, remember that if it begins with Java or JavaX. Now in this util example we saw that it begins with Java, right? So if it begins with either of these things, right, this means that it came with the JDK. It means that when it is a built-in class, it's a default built-in class. You don't need to, it is not an external class. Now if it starts with something else, it likely shows where it came from using the website name in reverse. Now let me give you an example. For example, there is an external or you can just say external library which goes like com.amazon. For example, Java 8 book. Now this tells us the code came from amazon.com. Like this is the format that the package follows. Now after the website name you can add whatever you want. For example, you can just say com.amazon.java 8 then let's say .my.name or something like that. Now this also tells that this came from amazon.com. No issues in that. And all these things that come after that are known as child packages, because obviously this is the parent package, you can just say, or the domain name, and these are all the child packages. All right, for like basically Java 8 book is the child package of this thing, and this one is the child package of com.amazon or amazon.com. Now this is how actually packages should be named and packages should be created. This is the general format, and it is not actually a hard and fast rule that you should follow, like this parent and child format that I'm talking about, but still it is a very good format that you should follow. But in the exam you will see that they don't follow this convention. Don't be surprised to see package names like, for example, a.b.c, so basically, or d dot some kind of class name. It can come in the exam like this. So these are not invalid package names. So the rule for package name is that they are mostly letters or numbers separated by dots. Technically you are allowed a couple of other characters between the dots, that is fine. The rules are the same as for variable names, which you will see later in the particular lectures. The exam may try to trick you with invalid variable names, but luckily it doesn't try to trick you by giving invalid package names. They will try to give package names which are not conventional like this, but there will be no issues. They will not trick you using invalid package names, most probably. Alright, so this is how it should follow. Now coming back to another thing that I want to discuss, that is known as wildcards. Okay, now classes in the same package, right, are often imported together. Now you can use a shortcut to import all the classes in the package. For example, let me just comment out this particular line, and we can do something like import java.util.star. So this is a wildcard. So the star is a wildcard that matches all classes in the package. All right. Now every class that you see in the java.util package is available to this program. That's what it means. So when Java compiles it, right, it doesn't import the child packages, fields or methods. It only imports classes. All right. So remember that. So whatever classes that is present in this java.util package will be imported, including the random class that you need over here. Sounds good? So basically you might think, and many of the people think that including so many classes slows down your program, but actually it doesn't. The compiler figures out what you actually need, which approach you choose is up to you. You can either choose this exact approach or you can either go for wildcards. It's completely up to you. But if you are using some kind of IDE, like let's say this Eclipse, so you can use auto completion features that is really handy sometimes. So you can use something like so you can just type in 2 or 3 letters and then hit control plus space. Now it will automatically put the import over here. But this is not how to use a compiler or a IDE. We are talking about the exam, so we're going to be strict with what the exam provides. Now, so that was about what was that? Wildcards. Let us move forward to something known as redundant imports. Now wait a minute. You saw that we took random to use a random class and use the next int. We had to import that particular class from the package. But we have been referring to this system without an import, and Java found it just fine. How is it possible? Is there some kind of magic happening or something like that? Let's see. So the answer is there is one special package in Java known as the java.lang package. All right. So it spells like this, java.lang package. This package is special in that it is automatically imported. So you can still type this package in an import statement, but you don't have to actually. So let me write something here, and just let me know how many redundant imports that you see. So let me just remove this thing, and let's write it out again. So let me just say import java.lang system, and import, let's say, java.lang.star, import java.util.random, and also let's say import java.util.star. All right, so if you see over here, you can figure out how many redundant imports are there. So the answer is that so basically that 3 of the imports are redundant in this particular example. And why is that? Line number 2 and 3, right, are redundant because everything in Java .lang, right, everything in java.lang is automatically considered to be imported. Line number 5, if you see over line number 5, you will say that obviously we are using random. Why it is redundant in this case? It is redundant because random is already imported from this line, that is line number 4. So if line number 4 wasn't present, then java.util.star over here wouldn't be redundant, though, since it would cover importing random. That is fine. So basically they'll try to trick you like this. Now you will think that okay, these 2 lines are redundant, these 2 lines are not redundant, but you will see that 3 of these are actually redundant. So make sure you pay attention to what they are asking. So being a redundant package doesn't always mean that it is coming in from a default package like java.lang. It can also be that you are actually importing it 2 times from the same package, and it will compile fine. There will be no compilation issues, but it will be a redundant import. Now another case of redundancy involves importing a class that is in the same package as the class importing it. Let us see an example. Let me create another class over here, and let me name it as input imports. All right, input imports, and I'll be creating a method in this thing that is public void read. And don't worry about all the things that I'm doing. I'm just taking a bunch of files over here. We are going to cover all this files in later chapters, but for now input output we are going to cover later on. But for now, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to do paths.get. I'm not going to import anything, so paths.get. Just pay attention to imports. This is an imports example, so I'm just going to say name. So basically in this example, files and paths are both in the package java.nio.file. So it is present in the java.nio.file. Now you don't need to memorize this package for the OCA exam. If you are going to appear for the OCA exam, that is fine. But you should know it for the OCP exam, that is for the professional level exam. So when testing your understanding of packages and imports, the OCA exam will use packages you may never have seen before, but that is fine. There is a trick to actually understand which package it belongs to. Now this question will let you know which package the class is in, if you need to know that in order to answer the question. All right. So basically, if you think about it, what imports do you think would work to get this code to compile? If you pay attention, I have already told you that this belongs to the java.nio.file, but just think that you don't know about it. Now there are 2 possible answers. The shorter one is to use a wildcard to import both at the same time, right? So you can either do this one thing. Basically you can just do what? You can do import java.nio.file file dot star. If you do this, then that is fine. All this, you see all the compilation errors are gone. And basically other answer will be to import both the files from their, both the classes separately. So you can do this thing also, dot files and dot paths. This is also possible like this. This is also another way. Now let's consider some other imports that don't work, and they will try to confuse you by giving these options. Let us try that out. So they can give you options like import java.nio dot star. They will try to do this. Do you think this will work? Let me comment it out. You see, it doesn't work. It throws compilation error. Why is that? Because always remember, a wildcard only matches, right? I've already told you, only matches what? Class names, right? Not files or packages. All right. So this is why this will not work. Let us take another example, right? Import java.nio dot star and let's say dot star, something like this. This will also not work. Why? Because you can have only one wildcard. You can only have one wildcard, and it must be at the end. That's the important point. Another way is another example that is also wrong is, let's say, import java.nio dot files dot paths dot star. Now this is also a very confusing thing, because you can think that basically I'm directly import the method, and that is the get method over here, and this is also not possible because you can only import classes, not methods. These are some examples, guys. So I'm just going to comment this out over here and uncomment this so that the errors go away. All right. All right, so let's talk about something. These are some of the things that they do to confuse you, right? Let's talk about other things about packages. Let's go to something known as naming conflicts. All right, naming conflicts. And to explain this, I'm going to create another class, and I'm going to name it as conflicts. And what I'm going to do is I want to use something. Let's discuss about it. So one of the reasons for using packages is so that the classes names doesn't have to be unique across all of the Java. So this means you'll sometimes want to import a class, right, that can be found in multiple places. That's really important. So common example of this is the date class, right? The date class. All right. So Java provides implementations of two types of date classes. One is the java.util.date and java.sql.date. Now this is very, very important. This is another example where you don't need to know the package names for the OCA exam. Don't need to know the package names, but what import could we use if you want the java.util.date version? Let us discuss that. So let us say I want to use date like this in my class, and I want to use the java.util.date. The answer should be very easy by now. You can either you can either write let's say import java.util.date or java.util.star, whatever you want, right? Java.util.date or java.util.star. Now the tricky cases come about when other imports are present. Now what happens if they have given in the question java.util.star and they have also given something known as import java.sql.star, something like that. If you see this question doesn't compile, so doesn't compile. So when the class is found in multiple packages, Java gives you the compiler error. The type date is ambiguous. If you see over here, the type date is ambiguous. This is the ambiguous thing. Now in our example, the solution is really easy. So basically what we can do is we can remove the java.sql.date import that we don't need. We can do that. So if you don't need the SQL import, so we'll remove it. We just need the util import, right? So that is one of the solutions. But what do we do, let's say, if we need a whole pile of other classes in the java.sql package? So we don't need the date but in the SQL package, but we need other classes from the SQL package. What do we do then now? Now let us see the solution for that. What we can do in that scenario, let me just comment this out. We can do something like this. So import java.util.date. So we found our use case so that the date package will be used from the util package and date class, sorry. And then we want other classes from the SQL package. So import java.sql.star. So you can see that in this case now it works. If we explicitly import a class name, it takes precedence over any wildcards present. That is the thing. This is a very important that you need to remember. Specific imports take precedence over wildcards. Very important. That's why this is working right now. Now they'll try to trick you with these things. You will think that there are two date classes. Now there will be a conflict or there will be an ambiguous situation, but this thing doesn't happen. Now Java thinks, okay, the programmer really wants me to assume the java.util.date class to be used, but it's fine. Now one more example, let us see what does Java do with ties for precedence. So basically let me give another example. This example that you see over here, import java.util.date and also import java.sql.date. In this case, what happens? In this case, there will be there is already you can see there is an error over here. Now Java is smart enough to detect that this code is actually for no good. कोई काम का नहीं है ये code. So basically, as a programmer, you've claimed to explicitly want to default to be both the util date and the SQL date. You want to use both of these things. Because as there will be no two defaults like this, like you cannot use SQL and util, because here Java will not be able to understand what you are actually trying to do, which package you are actually going to refer. So basically the import java.sql date collides with another import statement in this case. But there can be a particular reason, like you really want to use two classes with the same name. What you have to do then in that case? You have to use this date also, you have to use this date also. That's why this kind of collision occurred, right? What you can do in this case? What you can do is you can actually let's say remove one of the import statements. So this actually takes away the error. So basically you specify that this date belongs to the util package, and then what you need to do, you need to have the java.sql date. Now what you can do, you can just do this thing. So java.sql.date SQL date, something like this. Now you can see we can use this SQL date as a from this package, like this class, right, it belongs to the SQL package, and this class belongs to the date package. No issues in that. So whenever you actually get this kind of an error, what you can do is, when you have to use classes from different packages, you can pick one to use in the import and others fully qualified name. So this this is known as a fully qualified class name. All right, so this is how you will, these are all the scenarios which actually come in the exam, and this is actually is very, very important to understand before going to the exam. All right guys, I think we are done for this lecture. We are going to continue with the next topic from the next lecture. All right, bye bye.